Alright guys, so let's go over my trading recap for the week. Today is Saturday. I took a total of 20 trades this week, and 10 of them were take profit and 10 were lost. So let's go over the trade recaps, and then I'll see you guys. Let's go to the system. So this was my first trade on Monday. As you can see, this is NASDAQ, and this is the 1 minute time frame. I would normally do like 1 minute time frame. Anybody that knows me now knows I like 1 minute time frame a lot, because I do see my setup there play out very, very good. So as you can see here, price took the Asian section high in the morning. So I was waiting for actually a pullback to just ride the price. You can see, just look at this setup. We're going to be seeing a lot of this today. You can see a break of structure to the upside, then a liquidity here, liquidity zone at this point. Then you can see this fair value gap. But if you watch closely, like more importantly, like the reason for this, my entries are this: when price makes a new high, I tend to want to see something I like to call internal liquidity. If you look at these zones very well, if you look at this particular zones very well, these are my internal liquidity. You understand? You can see as when price made this bullish move after tapping into this area, price made an internal liquidity. I like that. I love that lecture very, very well. And I was very interested in that lecture too much. When you look at the other block, fair value gap, you understand, then internal liquidity, or liquidity 1, liquidity 2, then before price now broke above this structure. Immediately price broke above this high, so it made a new high there. Then I knew that, okay, buyers are already here. So I was waiting in the market. Then immediately I just drew it out. I wanted price to come and tap into my other block. And there's something I want to say going forward today. If you look closely, you see that this other block is actually starting from here, but I took this trade here. This is how I like to take this trade, so that I don't miss any opportunities, because in this strategy I do miss a lot of opportunities. But I just figured I just come up with a way to, make me not to be missing all these entries. So that's why I do take it up there to that first candle, like the opening of the closing of the second candle. I just draw from there to my other block. Then I take the entry. So this was actually like a very quick trade. It was really quick that Monday. This is the 1:5 trade, 1:5 risk to reward. You can see the take profit always has to be at that high. So this was actually the first trade, and I closed it. So guys, this was actually my second trade of the week. This was xauusd. Again, you can just see the same strategy again. Like, I tend to want to be mixing back to this strategy, because like it gives me a more clear opportunity on how to enter the market. You can actually see it again. During the Asian session, we had a break low to the Asian session. Then once London session opened, you can see the low. You can see the break to the low. We took the Asian session low with impulse. Very important. You have to make sure it's an impulse move down. Then when that impulse move has actually come, then I tend to want to see a pullback. You understand? If I go to 1 minute now, you will see that this was more liquidity than you ever expected. Internal liquidity again. You can see liquidity building up here. But I don't want to go to the 1 minute, because I took this entry in 5 minutes. Wherever I took the entry, that's where I'm going to be showing you guys. You understand? So I had this position set, and I was like, okay, let me just watch how the market is going to play out. Like I said in my previous entry, the NASDAQ trade I took yesterday, this trade was actually on Tuesday morning. I took this trade Tuesday, so I only traded NASDAQ yesterday and on Monday. So this was I think this trade was only the second trade I took on Tuesday. And I know most of you now will actually be asking yourself, how did I now take 20 trade? Well, I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to show you, say like the weekend will go sweet now from Friday to so immediately this one played out. I was like, okay, fine, sharp, more confident, grew. Started forcing trade, but we'll get to that later. Shall we just get to that later? Just at the end of the video, we'll get to that. So You can see the same structure, nothing big, nothing much. Just wait for the internal liquidity to be swept, draw out your. Now, if you remember the last video, the last trade, I said something about this. I said to take the entry from here. But if you watch, this is a fair value gap. This is a big fair value gap, and I know this here is another block. You understand? So based on the current of the market, I always want to like watch my entries whenever I'm to enter a trade. I want to like be on the system watching my entries. You understand? So while I was watching this, I was like, okay, this internal liquidity here, price might not actually come all the way up there, because during this London session, during this opening of London session, I was just watching this trade. This price was just going up with too much impulsive move. I was even scared, but I said, okay, no, I understand that is this liquidity we need to sweep. So once that liquidity was hunt, I saw that fair value gap, I took my entry. As you can see, I don't want to zoom out for this trade. If I zoom out for this trade, many of you will roast me, but let me zoom out for you so you see. You can see that was the high. Like that was, I could have caught a lot of trade if I held on. As you can see from here, as you can see, the trade went through throughout that from that Tuesday. In fact, we still did in profit, but I just closed. Like I told you, I do follow my plan. That's why I want to tell myself I do follow my plan, but at the end of the day, I end up not following it. You can see this is 1:4, 29 pips. So in profit. Let's go back to the next trade. Well, most of you must have guessed the next trade by now, but if you have not, the next trade is good, you know. the biggest good, all that belongs to Caesar. See, I'm here. So I had a POY. It's not actually, I had a POY for a rejection, because if you look at this zone, this was actually on Wednesday. Yes, this was Wednesday. Good has been rejecting this area for a long time. I was like, okay. And I wanted gold. I was feeling like the market was going to be bullish for gold, honestly. So I was watching the trade. New York's London session opened here. You can see price went with impulse. So price went above, closed above. Well, like okay, fine. And New York session, I just mapped out my entry and I was waiting for price to just pull back. In fact, I was so confident on this trade. Like this is where the whole problem started. I said, oh, that belongs to Caesar. This is the guy. This is where the whole problem started, you know. So when the trade was coming, I was like, okay, fine. It's New York session though. If I zoom out a little bit, you see how where this trade went. Let me show you something. Let me show you. How do I do it again? Okay. Yes. The same thing, guys. No biggies. You watch. You can see here. Now, the reason why I do take internal liquidity is because of this. You understand? Because of this particular move here. Now, you can see that price made this other block, fair value gap. But you can look close. You can see that price never took this high before making this low. You understand? So this pullback here was bias. You understand? This is bias. This is people buying this thing back here again, and it just like favored. It happened. So I know that SMC and liquidity is going to come and hunt it later. That is the major reason for my internal liquidity. There's not too much. Other people have their own way of saying it. This is my own way. You understand? So I plotted my charts and I was waiting. New York session opened. Price was coming heavily. Immediately, price tapped this position. Normally, I do trade. I normally do trade with time. You know, I do trade with time. So immediately I was seeing this was 9:30. Yes, around 9:30, the price just dropped down. I was like, oh god, because 9:30 is, if you know very well, 9:30 is actually a long time it's actually a good time. It's actually the stock opening time in New York session. So immediately that thing opened, it just tapped it, went above immediately. You know, I was trying to take what belongs to Caesar that day. My take profit was really above here. You understand? As a scalping person that I'm becoming, that I am now, my take profit was supposed to be here. honestly. I think I messed this trade up. My take profit was supposed to be here. Because now I want to explain something that day. This very day, all these brokers, this very day, but I set a buy limit here. I was watching price tapped into that buy limit. Immediately price tapped into that buy limit. I think I opened this trade with 0.05. Let me know, like 0.05. Immediately price tapped that buy limit. The broker closed the trade. Like, they did not activate the trade. I was like, why? This account, the balance in my account was about $50 in my account then. They did not activate it. They just like closed it out. I was like, what's going on? I was really surprised. Then that pissed me off. I just opened 0.0. I stacked 0.01 in this place. Immediately, I just stacked 0.01 in this place. I was not even putting stop loss. I was just stacking it 1, 2, 3. That was out of line, but I trusted the entry. I trusted it was going to work. I mean, how can you not have trust when the previous 2 days was profit? So my trust was there. You understand? So immediately my trust was there. I stacked 0.01. I stacked 5 here. Then I was watching this trade pull up, like go, like it went above. You know, I had the mind to close it somehow, but I was thinking that maybe we're going to close above here. I was thinking maybe we're going to close above this zone, at least. I was saying, okay, this place is going to be like my TP1. I was going to close some here. Then immediately, New York session now, once it faced one side directly, it started moving, coming back down. Then when the trade went up here, I moved everything to break even, but I did not move all of them to break even. You understand? If you look closely, you can see that my stop loss is very tight. So I moved some to break even. I think I moved about 3 to break even, left 2 to be at the, at the stop loss. So in case price wants just to come back to the entry and reverse, I still had hopes. But then all the hope was cut short, and then gold did this thing. Took my money for vanishing. Let's go back to the next trade. So GBP JPY became the next trade for me. I took this trade on Thursday. It was not easy, but I saw trading, all those kind of stuff. So I had this POY for a long time. I had this POY for about, I think 8 days or 9 days now, because I measured, I did my measurement, and this POY has been existing for my side for 9 days. So I was expecting price to tap and reject. As you can see here, this was the POY. We are in 1 minute time frame. I can't go to the 5 minutes. Like I told you guys, I enjoy my entry on 1 minute. So during exchange session, the night before this, I don't trade exchange session. Let me just tell people, once my trade are in the night for exchange session, I just don't trade it, because all the brokers in Nigeria will do you dirty. I'm in Nigeria, by the way. All the brokers in Nigeria, they will do you dirty for being an Asian session. They will just do you dirty. So I don't normally just want to trade the Asian session. Then, and I left it. So in the morning time, I woke up around very, very early in the morning. I think it was around 5. So when I woke up, I saw that price had already hit that POY, and it's actually rejecting it already. I said, fine. Then I went to 1 minute, saw my change of character. Then it was from there my internal liquidity started building up. As you can see here, the liquidity was actually building up very nicely then. But I was, due to the fear of missing this trade, I will not lie, due to my fear of missing this trade, I took my first entry at this fair value gap. Sorry, let me zoom out so you can see the fair value gap. I took my first entry at this fair value gap here, because I was like, I don't want to miss this entry, because I was very sure of this. I took my first entry at this fair value gap. Then my second entry, which you guys must have known by now, it was out here. As you can see, it was at this other block. Then price did its thing, during London session open here, and then we rallied to sweep that internal liquidity, tapped into the other block, then dropped. I don't want to zoom out of this trade, because again, you people will roast me about this, but let's just go out and zoom. I know you can say what you You can put what you want to say in the comment section. I beg. I need help. And there's something I want to teach to you guys, but I will say that in the end of the video. I will say this in the end of the video. The previous day when I was making this analysis, I identified this zone to be my sell-side liquidity. So I think price was still around here. I don't know if you can see it properly. So I'm using a free mode though in trading view. So price was still around there when I made the analysis. I said if price can tap into this POI and shift, I know GBP JPY, most of you know it. The people that like trading it, it moves with intention. You understand? It wants to move. It moves with intention. So I said this was going to be my this sell side liquidity is going to be where I'm anticipating the price to get to the next day, which was Thursday. Look at this. Now tell me why your boy closed this trade here. A moment of silence for me, because tell me why your boy closed this here. I don't know, just look at this zone. If you look at this, you can see immediately price closed up. You can see this impulsive buy, bam, then sell again. And all this happened on Thursday. Okay, look, this one happened. This was New York session. This was 12 o'clock in New York. 12 o'clock in New York is probably 5 o'clock in Nigerian time. This thing happened. The take profit happened in 5 o'clock Nigerian time. So tell me why your boy closed this trade here. I'm still trying to figure out why I closed that trade here. Even I was talking to my friend the day I took this trade. I was saying I'm going to swing this trade. I was very confident on this one too. I said I'm going to swing this trade. I don't know that my confidence level for this week was really, really high. I think the most thing that I actually enjoyed this week was being confident in my trade, and I was really patient. So this was actually the fourth trade, I think. Yeah, this was actually the fourth trade. It was Thursday, and I made good profit on this trade. Honestly, I did close out early, but I still made good profit on this trade. The screenshot is going to appear on the screen now. So let's go back to the next trade. So the next trade again was Nasdaq, and this trade was also on Thursday evening. I like trading Nasdaq when I feel like the whole manipulation is done, because then I do know when to take my setups. But I messed up. I did mess up on Friday, but let's get to the point. You understand? So I saw Nasdaq was overall bearish it's not on daily time frame, on hourly time frame and 15 minutes time frame. Nasdaq was bearish. I was just looking to sell because we had a POI for a bearish move on Nasdaq. So I'm still expecting Nasdaq to be dropping for a while. I'm not giving you financial advice here, please, but just go into your chart and just do your thing. So when price made this break of structure, to mind you, this is New York sessions. You understand? This New York session opened there. So when New York session opened here, I can see this liquidity grab. You can see price just went here, grab liquidity. It would have been better if price went here to grab this liquidity, you understand? But Nasdaq here they touch. So maybe price grabbed that liquidity, it broke down. I said okay, fine. Then I knew that there was a big liquidity zone below here, so I was waiting. So when price now took that liquidity, you can see the close below. If it's only in 1 minute, you can see this close below. If you go on 5, you can't see it. You understand? This is one of the reasons why I like 1 minute. If you go on 5 minutes, you can't see such close below. If you go on 3, you might see it on 3. You understand? So this is why I like 1 minute a lot. You can see you are still in 1 minute time frame here again. So when price closed below, I was okay, fine. Sharp, this is what I want. Then my internal liquidity has already been set. You can see the structure again. So I was waiting for a pullback. That was all I was waiting for. So price pulled back again, tapped in here. I was so confident on this trade that I think my entry for this trade was 0.05. My take profit on this trade now is below here. This is 1 minute. To repeat again, is below here. This, as long as I say it's 1 minute now, why did I take that place to be my take profit? Just like I said, if you go on 5 minutes, you will not see this close. This was just a sweep on 5 minutes. On any time frame you go in, maybe 15 minutes or 5 minutes, this was just a sweep. But on 1 minute, you can see it's a close. So I know that the bigger time frames, they're going to align with this 1 minute. I just knew that they were going to align. Now, the bias out there is different. I'm not going to fight anybody for it. You understand? But this is just like the things that work for me, and I'm just putting it out there. Sure, you understand? So that was my take profit, honestly. So when price tapped, I was thinking that my broker was not going to put me into this trade, though. Honestly, they put me into this trade just with a little bit. Like, if you look closely here, it's like very tiny. I don't know how to calculate the pips in this NASDAQ, but very, very tiny. So it got in. I just got in. I was like, thank God I got in. Oh. I was confident on the trade again too. I was really confident on the trade again. Then price just went straight down. Like, price demolished down, went straight down. Almost to take profit. I remember that day I was here dancing. Hey, I was really happy. Then all of a sudden I was dancing pullback. The emotions in trading is not something that has been talked about enough. I don't think it's been talked about enough, All this one that people that tell you that when you enter that kind of trade, you just like, maybe if you move to break even, you just delete trading view app. I don't have that too much data to come and be downloading trading view app every time. MT5 every time, and then I was come and be logging in. I do have ADHD, so I do forgetting. What if I can't forget my password? What do you want to tell me by then? So I don't do that. I do watch my trades when they are in. Sometimes I don't watch. Sometimes I will just keep my phone and I'll just be watching them. I'll just be playing, do whatever I want to do. So when the price started reversing, like I told you, I was dancing. I was really happy. It was a good profit. You understand? So price started pulling back. The emotion started kicking in. I think I took profit here. I closed that profit and I took that profit. I took profit when this thing was pulling back. I took profit here. I think I took profit here. Yeah, I took my profit here. This is where I took profit. You understand? Not there. I took my profit here. This zone particular. This was where I took my profit. Here, I took my profit there. So after I closed that profit, I just left. Let me show you something. Then you can see. This was the take profit. This was the initial take profit down here. The initial take profit was down here. Price was close to take profit. Manipulation kicked in. It now started pushing it up, put down, up, down. And this was, let me say, this was a New York session, and it was around it was close to New York close. Okay, now look, this is 3 o'clock in 3:44 in New York on Thursday. 3:44 in the afternoon already. You understand? So I heard this is 4. Everybody on the close. So you understand that kind of stuff. So I was trying to make everything just hasty, So this video is getting too long. I want to try and cut this video off. So everything just happened. It was going to Asian session. I don't like trading Asian session. Then, bam, almost going back to entry, came back down. During Asia session, take profit. So that was the second trade on. But I still feel like I took profit, What is trading without profit, I beg? So this was actually the final trade for the week. You can see this was NASDAQ as well. So the same thing happened. This is New York session. So I was waiting. Everything happened. Like I said, bearish market for NAS, bullish market for gold. I was thinking, but let's just get to this trading. So price made its 10, broke structure to the downside again. So then during this, it started pulling back. Started pulling back. I was okay. Let's take a short here. My internal liquidity has been here. The week has been good. it's been a good week overall, and I was just like looking to like add some more goodness to the week, that kind of stuff. Like I said, for weekend we go sweet, and from Friday we go to new. So I was trying to like make everything better, add more spice to the thing. So I took this trade here. When price hit my entry, you can see here, it started pulling down. I think for me, I think we made 1:2 still from here. 1:4 self. We made 1:4 already here. So price started pulling down. I still went with the same loss size I did for the previous trade. So, but it was Friday. Now look at what happened this day. It was Friday, so I think I was not expecting too much move. Like I was not expecting price to go down too much, because it was Friday. And if you look, we are already approaching closing session on New York. You understand? This was 2:00. This is 3. This is 4. So when price hit that entry, I was at my mind was I was okay. Let's just come down to this place, we'll take profit and just close for the week. So price started pulling down. I was okay, happy. I nearly added another entry to this place. I nearly added more entry to here, So, but you can see this one was a loss. I took the loss here, and that's just what it is. It's just market. Like I said, I'm a full-time trader. I used to stay at home. I do trade. So, but you need other hobbies. I do have side hustles. I do have side hustles that I used to do, but it's not every time. So we need to be disciplined in this market, because just like ICT said that you are in a market that they don't want you to be in. It's just as simple as that. We are in a market that they don't want us to be in the first place, but we are in the market already, and they don't want us to be in this market. So the least amount of thing we can do is to get discipline. Wait for your setup. This NASDAQ trade actually, it broke me yesterday. It actually did broke me. I've not said I lose too much. I lose money on it, but not too much. It's not too much to compare to myself. I'm not comparing myself to anybody else. So, but I don't think I was supposed to open the chart yesterday at all. That yesterday Friday at all. So I was not even supposed to open the chart at all, and that was a mistake. That was undisciplined for me to come and open the chart. So that's why I want to come and chip in here for you guys. Discipline in this trading, this market is really, really important. So guys, if you do enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, and follow for more. We're going to go again next week, and I want to promise you guys something. This new month we'll go jolly. This June is going to be go jolly this month. So let's tap in, push P, have fun, stay safe, guys.